Purpose is to educate and inform people within the community. The host, Marcus Jones, believes everyone has a story, so you don't want to miss all of the exciting stories that's lined up to bring healing and love back to the community. Also, check out Marcus Jones' website, www.marcusjonesstory.com, where you can see Marcus' story, trailers from past shows, pictures, and to schedule speaking engagements. The Let's Stay Together talk show had another opportunity to guest host on Marcus Jones' Everyone Has a Story this past Sunday on March 19th. Our topics included domestic violence and elderly abuse. Air dates will be announced in the future. The Let's Stay Together show is looking for interns to help us with upcoming television broadcasts. We're looking for editors, cameramen, CG persons, crew member, and teleprompter people. Looking for a great cause? Help New Faith Baptist Church International fight against Ebola. Go to Amazon to support the Joseph assignment. Go to www.smile.amazon.com. Right after our show, you can tune in to hear more great preaching at New Faith Baptist International Church with Pastor Ternell Felder. This broadcast comes on every Tuesday at 9 p.m. at WYJS. Please check out our CAN TV promo commercial on our website at www.letsstaytogethertalkshow.com and like the Let's Stay Together show on Facebook. This concludes the Let's Stay Together talk show announcements.
Good evening. The Let's Stay Together show presents Point of View by Donna Terrell.
Let's talk about the word virtuous. Virtuous means morally excellent, pure, and upright. Being virtuous gets a bad rap these days. It's not very exciting. If you say you're a virtuous woman, you must be boring and dull. Why be boring and dull when you can be cool like Aria and Emily from Pretty Little Liars or Empire's Ghetto Fabulous Cookie? This is what our girls see. There's no Adventures of Veronica, the Virtuous Woman, and if there is a lady on television who's trying to live right before God, it will get changed quick, like April on Grey's Anatomy. So, if I had a daughter, I'd tell her virtuous women can still have fun and be cool. They don't have to announce to the world that they're virtuous. They just be it. And there's more to being virtuous than the dictionary.com definition. I'd say be trustworthy. Be loyal to your friends. Stick by them, stand up for them, and keep their secrets. Be thrifty. You don't have to be cheap, but you shouldn't throw your money away either. An $8 tube of lipstick goes on just as well as a $28 tube. Learn to cook well. It'll take you a long way. And when you get that husband one day, he'll appreciate it. Besides cooking, it doesn't hurt to have some do-it-yourself skills. You don't have to rehab an entire house, but why depend on a man or pay someone to do something you might be able to do yourself? Have additional streams of income. The Proverbs 31 woman sold stuff she made herself. Learn your strengths. Find out what you can do and work it. And don't be afraid of a little hard work. Success is not accidental. You have to work hard and sacrifice for the things you want. Don't do a whole lot of talking about nothing. When you speak, you should have something of actual benefit to say. Don't be an airhead. Keep up with current events. Know what's going on in the world and not just in your own group. Don't be the mean girl. Be nice and kind to everybody, not just those whose good graces you want to get in. And if somebody needs something, help them out if you can. Finally, and above all, trust God. Put Him first in everything. Pray about everything. Live by God's wisdom, because God can do exceeding and abundantly above all we can ask or think. And He can bring the right kind of cool and excitement into your life. For Let's Stay Together, this is Donna Terrell.
You are now returning to the Let's Stay Together talk show.
Hey, welcome back to the Let's Stay Together show. We got down to the last half hour. Oh, man, this has been awesome with these doctors that we have in here now. Everybody has, a doctorate degree. I didn't know the Let's Stay Together show was able to give out degrees, but we have given out a couple of degrees. It says Kelly is going to be a doctor in about 1 or 2 years, I'm sure. So we'll call that. It says, call those things that be not as though they were. I made a mistake, and my baby is just glaring about it so she can let me know that we're supposed to be doing the relationship letter between 8:20 and 8:30. So, baby, since we didn't do that, go ahead and get the relationship letter in.
Okay. It's a very good one.
Great.
It says, Dear LST, in my quest to write this letter regarding developing young girls and virtuous women, I, as a mother, fell short. I had only one daughter, and I say that in past tense because I allowed the streets to get to her. My truth is I had my baby girl at 17, so I was still a child myself trying to be a mother. I didn't spend much time with my daughter because I was hitting the streets trying to be grown, party hard, and live. My mother wasn't there for me, and I guess the apple didn't fall too far from the tree because I didn't have any desire to be there for my daughter in the long run. This vicious cycle continued with my own child who had her daughter at 19. To do better, you have to know better. I wasn't afforded that luxury of someone extending the olive branch to me to teach me how to become a virtuous woman until I started going to church faithfully. My daughter gave up her rights to my granddaughter, and now I am raising her. And believe me, I am making sure that I raise her up in the church. I get involved in positive organizations, and I am very hands-on with her school. I want her to see women of God, beautiful, successful women making a difference in other lives. Unlike how I was raised by the streets, my daughter didn't have much of a role model to emulate, nor did I, but I had to break the chain of another young girl getting swallowed up by the dirty streets. I wanted my granddaughter to be proud of me. One good thing my past of growing up too fast and using my body as my calling card does not define who I am today. It didn't get me anywhere faster in life but motherhood. I'm older and wiser, and now I'm involved in different ministries and organizations to help young girls to discover who they are. My granddaughter is reaping all of the great benefits of becoming a lovely young lady. But even though I'm saving her, I feel so guilty that I couldn't save my own daughter from turmoil. Please suggest some ways that I could help my granddaughter attain a healthy attitude about her body image and that her body should be considered sacred. Sincerely, given a second chance.
Wow. Well, hearing that, I want to applaud the writer of the letter, number one, for recognizing that she does have the second chance. The second, and the one thing that she can do is continue to be there for her granddaughter. The church is a wonderful place to raise her. There are several organizations that have mentoring programs for young people. We have one. You can contact me on Facebook. My Facebook is Cassandra Watlington. Send me an inbox message. And that's
that last name.
The name is spelled Cassandra. WAD as in David, LING as in George, T as in Tom, ON.
That was long.
We will have it on our website.
Yeah. Okay.
You can inbox me, and I can give you the information that leads you to my sororities organization. We mentor children from ages 6 all the way through high school. and we actually make sure we actually follow our kids that go from high school into college to make sure that they will actually being mentored, and they know that they have people that are actually in their corners. I can just tell you, I don't know how to, you're full of emotion when you hear how your daughter was lost to the streets, or as you say, lost to the streets. You've been given that second chance. Continue to do what you're doing. Take her to church. Reverend Rick made a comment about Proverbs when they said you train up a child in the way that they should go, and even when they're older, they will not depart from it. And those things are reminders. If you raise up your child and you let her know that you're there for your granddaughter, you're there for her. If she wants to play the flute and you can't stand the flute, you be at every recital with your earphones on and you applaud like crazy. Even it doesn't matter what she does. You're there for her. Let her know that she's got somebody in her corner. And if you can't be there for her, you find another positive person, and you find like Smitty called in, Shelton. Hey, Shelton called in. Earlier, there are men out there who are willing to take that positive role to let them know that coming from a place of love, I'm going to show you how a young lady should be treated.
Dr. Kimberly?
I think sometimes we forget, too, that our past moments don't have to define our present, like our future moments. And so I think that, in order for there to be movement for any of us and emotional growth and physical growth and psychological growth, that we're all going to make poor choices, and that is part of life. And the goal is not to get stuck in it and paralyzed in it, but to say, what can be the next choice? Every second gives you another moment to make a choice, and you are not defined by the moment before. And I think so often we get lost in that because then the guilt piles on or the shame piles on, and we forget to kind of, I always talk about a tug of war, and sometimes we forget just to drop the rope, that you don't have to hold it, and just make the next moment. Go play the game you want to play. If you don't want to play tug of war, drop it and move on to what you want to do. And that letter is just so inspiring, because she did that. She kind of said, okay, I'm done with this. And so, I know she talked about, some guilt and shame, and, I would encourage her to let that go. And she doesn't have to be the perfect mentor to her granddaughter either, that she just needs to take the next best step. And if it's not the best step at that moment, then the next moment, take the next best step, and to continue to grow that way.
Thank you, Dr. Kim.
Yeah, I just pretty much have a lot of amens to what was already said. I think it's important. A girlfriend of mine lost her husband suddenly last year, and she's moving into her speaking business. And she talked a lot about the healthiness of therapy. She needed it at a time of that crisis then. But one of the things that we talked about is support. The woman in the letter is talking about support for her granddaughter. She may need to be comfortable with looking and seeking ongoing support, so she can drop the past. She can drop, the hurt, the guilt. So I think as we're on this journey to support young people moving forward, we have to constantly be committed to supporting ourselves and our own development moving forward. And if that's a good network of friends, if that's a good network of support or a spiritual counselor or whatever it may be, I think for us to make the healthiest kids, we have to make sure that we're committed to being healthy as well.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly.
I agree with all the ladies and everything that they said, but one of the things that I would hope and want to encourage her to do is to, once she forgives herself, to encourage her daughter to come back into that relationship with her granddaughter and herself, because it's never too late to mend a relationship.
I really commend you giving a second chance for writing this and being transparent, because most people won't tell the backstory of how something happened, and you're doing an awesome job. So like I said, God's giving you a second chance to reach out and reach back and help the falling angel, and your granddaughter is there, so motherhood doesn't just extend to what you birth. I mean, because you have great mothers who are grandmothers, which now is the norm, raising their grandchildren. So I just say, I hope you're listening, and I hope that you know that, if anything, the Let's Stay Together shall believe in second chances and third chances.
Yeah, amen. Hey, if you were listening to the sermon that was from Dr. Felder, it said, I shall walk in divine purpose. One of the things that we have to be able to do is to say to you is that though you've made mistakes, and again, Kelly brought it up with the TD Jakes, look at the scars and let them go. you don't want to hold on to the past so much that it, blots the future.